welcome to the Drep and Stone podcast, the podcast where two friends raise a glass and have a conversation. I'm Nick.
I'm Kyle.
Kyle.
Hey, man.
How's it going over there?
It's prime seating location right now in the whiskey cave.
In the whiskey cave, yeah. Because if you were sitting in this seat, you'd be in the.
I wouldn't feel right.
No.
Yeah.
Can I divulge something to you though?
Sure.
Like when I'm in here alone by myself.
Whoa.
And I got the lights down low, got the candle burning.
Pants down low.
I didn't say that. I sit in that chair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Normally.
You just leave this set up.
Yeah, basically, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And the reason why I sit in that chair, actually, I don't know. I don't have a good reason.
You know, I wonder if it's just like this is the most comfortable place to land.
Probably.
Entering the room.
Yeah,
because you
maybe.
would be looking at this chair, not that one.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I kind of do the same thing in the library.
Yeah.
I usually sit in the chair that you sit in when we record, but I'm never in there to record.
Yeah.
So that's just like seems to be the comfortable place to land is in that chair.
Yeah. I don't know. And
because I like having the window there.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to have my back to the window.
Right.
So yeah,
we just kind of naturally gravitated towards this setup because when we record in the library,
same.
You sit on the left and I sit on the right.
Yep.
So here we are.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's like our sides of the bed.
That's exactly.
Didn't mean to make it weird.
No, I don't think it's weird at all.
Not like we have places in the bed like a Nick side and a Kyle side because we don't go to the same bed.
Yeah. You're right.
I'm just saying it's like that, but not in a way that we have a way that is.
Now you're making it weird.
Yeah, sorry.
No, yeah.
Sorry.
Now you're making it weird. Nobody thought that till you brought it up. I mean, there's probably that one guy in Poughkeepsie, but you know.
Right.
So it's. Can we call it the summer? I think it's basically summer.
It's Florida summer.
Well,
ish.
Yeah. No, I think it's
finally starting to rain again.
Correct.
Finally. Weather update for everybody. I know you're all worried.
As we do.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty squarely summer at this point for us anyway.
Yeah, it's Florida. We have like 6 months of summer.
Yeah, correct.
And it starts in May.
Because real summer doesn't start until like early June.
Yeah.
Or like mid-June. I don't know exactly when the first day of summer is.
Yeah, I'm not
like
sure.
Officially. And then summer for like...
I mean, it would be the summer solstice, would it not? Which would be like,
I don't know.
Like 22nd, June 22nd.
Sounds
is
good.
That Aubrey's birthday?
Sounds good, man.
That's Aubrey's birthday. Huh.
Sounds good to me.
She's born on the
I don't really know how all that works.
Yeah.
But my point is, here in Florida, it's summer.
Yeah.
And for like whatever reason, in my mind, like cocktails are the summer thing. Like that's because we're doing the summer cocktails.
You know, in my recent just exploration of this medium,
yeah,
I think it's seasonal, not in the way that like this is a time for cocktails, although I think summertime does kind of scream for it. But there are seasonal cocktails. Like,
yeah,
you know, like I think certain cocktails lend themselves for different times of year.
Sure.
So
like you don't want to drink like a hot toddy in, July.
Yeah. I mean, but it's, it's I think much in the same way that we now have like, whiskeys that we prefer at different times of year. So I think cocktails can be the same way, but they just do kind of sing their loudest in summer.
Yeah, for whatever reason. What we're talking about, I don't know if we set this up well enough. What we're talking about is this is the inaugural episode.
Yeah.
Of the Drep and Stone Summer of Cocktails.
Yeah, in studio.
In studio, correct. Yeah,
well, we're both together.
Yeah, we've already recorded an episode. That one's going to come out.
Who knows when?
But
sometime this summer.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to hear it in a couple weeks. Is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
Every summer we kind of pick a thing to try or do. Not every episode is that.
Yep.
But I think because for whatever reason you and I have started to explore more cocktails.
Yeah, I think like we kind of briefly hit on it in the Mezcal episode.
Yeah.
Of like just an interest in other spirits specifically, but what can we do with those spirits that is also interesting and something else that I'm really kind of eager to jump into right now.
I think it's one of those for me, almost like a return to a beginning.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think most people's whiskey or alcohol experience tends to begin with some sort of mixed drink.
Yeah.
And then you start to, get curious about what are these things? How are these things made? And then you probably gravitate towards more like, okay, well, I want to try just the whiskey neat, or I want to try certain vodkas, or I want to try certain tequilas or whatever.
Right.
And then eventually, at least in my experience, now that I have all this breadth of knowledge, how does that liquid play with these other ingredients, and what can I get out of this?
Right. And how can they enhance with the flavors of the said cocktail to make something new, interesting, and then even within the specific cocktail, how I can alter it and change it to fit my specific palate the way that I want it, I'm really just starting to nerd out about it.
Yeah, and that's a really good point because, I'm sure we'll talk about this over the next couple of weeks, in other cases too. But it's like, think something like cocktail you can get anywhere, like an old fashioned or like a margarita. There are so many ways to make those particular cocktails that then what this kind of experimentation allows is it allows you as the individual to figure out, what is your level of ingredient? What do you like? And then what do you like the liquor wise? What do you like to put in it?
Yep.
So you want to start one?
Yeah. Let's do that.
All right. We're going to start with a cocktail that actually my sister recommended to me because longtime listeners of the show will remember my sister Tanya. She was on a couple episodes, 7, 8, 1.
Oh, well, we had her as a guest on one.
Right.
But I think she has made like a call in and might have snuck into a couple episodes that way too.
Or at the very least, I've mentioned her on several episodes.
Yeah.
But she used to be a bartender in Charleston.
Yeah.
Worked for this high-end Italian restaurant, learned a lot about bartending. So as soon as you and I kind of started to talk about this, I texted her, called her, and like, hey, give me ideas. Like, where do I find ideas for cocktails? And she sent me one.
She's like, it's called the internet.
That's basically what she did.
Pick up your phone.
I asked for a book because it's me. I was like, hey, do you got any book recommendations? Yeah, exactly. I pushed up my my glasses and I
I'd like a book. Could you recommend an author?
Correct. Literally, that's what I did. We FaceTimed and she like walked me through her library of books. But then she basically said, hey, get this app. Stop being stupid. Get this app. So then she sent me this particular cocktail that we're doing today.
Yeah.
And she made it and said, change this a little bit. And then I made it and I was like, oh, that's fantastic. And then she made it again with a slightly different spec or slightly different ingredient list.
Tweak.
And she went, no. This is the way you make it. Oh. So then send that back to me. So we were kind of workshopping it back and forth. And I think we got it. Yeah.
Cool.
So you and I go make them.
What is it?
It's called the Easy Street.
Easy Street.
It's a sort of a riff on a gin and tonic ish.
Okay.
It is a gin forward drink. It's got a little bit of Saint Germain, which is an elderflower liqueur, and it's got some cucumber. So I think it's perfect for a summer cocktail.
Bring it on.
All right. So we're going to go make it. You guys are going to hear us make this. And then we're going to give you some specs. We're going to try it. And then we'll go from there. What do you think?
I like it.
Let's do it.
All right, we've got cocktails.
Yes, we do.
So explain this again.
Okay.
What did you make for us?
So this is the Easy Street. It comes from the San Diego bartender, Anthony Schmidt, at the bar, the Noble Experiment. And this was first created in 2010.
Wow.
Yeah. So here are the specs for this, okay?
Okay.
It's 1.5 ounces of gin. We used the Botanist, 3/4 of an ounce of lemon, 3/4 of an ounce of elderflower liqueur.
Mm-hmm. Saint Germain.
Saint Germain, yep. 1/4 of an ounce of simple, 3 slices of cucumber, and club soda. So I changed it just slightly.
About to say, I didn't see you put any simple.
I didn't put any simple in it because I think the elderflower liqueur is sweet enough.
Sure.
So I basically just put an ounce of elderflower instead of elderflower and the simple. I don't think the simple really adds anything.
Interesting.
In my opinion.
Makes it a little extra boozy too.
Yeah, exactly. So what you do is you muddle the gin, lemon juice, elderflower, liqueur, and the cucumber all together. Muddle it, and then shake that all over ice, and then pour it into your cocktail glass, and then top with just a little bit of club soda just to fill up the glass a little bit, and dilute it just slightly. So
add a little sparkle.
But overall, it's a bright, fresh, refreshing gin-forward drink, and then you garnish it with a cucumber, and it is beautiful.
Refreshing AF.
Yeah. All right. Shall we?
Yeah. Let's try it. Man, very slurpy. Man, that's fantastic.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't need the simple.
No.
Elderflower gives it just enough of a sweet touch.
Yep.
And the Botanist is a rather sweet gin.
I've tried this with a bunch of different gins, and man, I am a gray whale guy right now because that gin is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
a staple now.
It makes great cocktails. But I like the Botanist because it is a little more sweet. And it's a little more neutral.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's lighter on its herbal notes. To me, the Botanist is very forward in the sweetness.
Yeah.
Like it's that I always say like ribbons of sugar.
Yeah.
That is the main feature of the Botanist.
Yeah, and I feel like for the Botanist being more of that like kind of London dry style as well, even though it is sweet or on the sweeter note, like the herbal notes are a little more even keel.
Right.
Whereas something like Grey Whale, it has a lot more almond and mint in it, and it feels a little more
it's
herbal.
much more herbal forward,
Exactly,
I feel like.
exactly. Man, what I really love is that the cucumber is the star here.
Yeah.
And it rides the gin wave, and then you get the nice elderflower. But to me, it's not like. Did you try the Saint Germain straight?
I did not.
It's sweet and floral.
Yeah,
it's just like a nice like bottom note that I really love.
Yeah, delightful.
Yeah,
good call.
Thank you. Like
very refreshing.
Can you imagine sitting by a pool and sipping on that?
Yeah, on a boat.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I love just the touch of sparkle.
Yeah.
That the club soda adds. I love that you muddled the cucumber because you get little bits.
Exactly.
That kind of, get in there and ruminate in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah. So like I said, when we introduced it, Tanya and I, we tried it without the cucumber, and it's fantastic without the cucumber. But the cucumber elevates it so much.
Yeah, I think the cucumber would make it much more of a refreshing.
That's exactly what it does.
Thing.
Yeah, without the cucumber, it's again
brighter.
It's still fantastic, but it's a little heavier. Yeah, the cucumber lightens it up.
Yeah,
it presents that like just nice even pop of this is refreshing
for sure.
I could have 6 of these and be on my ass.
Yeah, because that Saint Germain ain't kidding.
Oh no, it's
80 proof.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
It's a kicker. All right, summer of cocktails.
Yeah,
what was the easy street? Was that, as you're saying, without cucumber?
Yeah.
So like
no, like Easy Street, like that recipe.
Yeah.
Is with the cucumber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say like. At what point in time is your alteration of the
That's a really good question.
The recipe change it and it's no longer what it is? And then you've also got like these bigger umbrella of like the margarita.
Right.
But there's 700 varieties of a margarita.
For sure. So I think when you think about it in that way, I think you could place this within like a gin and tonic umbrella.
Right.
So like this is a version of a gin and tonic. Obviously it doesn't have tonic in it, but it's a version of a gin and tonic. When you think of like a martini is a umbrella drink. It can be made 100,000 different ways.
Right.
But
with different liquors.
Exactly. It's still a martini.
Yeah.
So I think though, like when you have like this Anthony Schmidt Easy Street, I almost think like that thing, the specs that are on that is what that drink is.
Right.
If you change the specs like we did, is it still the Easy Street?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's that weird thing of like, well, if I substitute out
for that.
Yeah, if I don't, let's say a recipe calls for like chili powder, and I don't have chili powder, so I just don't put it in. Does that make it not the recipe that I'm making?
Right.
I don't think so. But I think the idea is like,
if you added a salt rim or like a tahini rim to this,
right,
is it now a completely different thing?
I mean, it is. That's going to dramatically change the flavor
for sure. And that's where I like find things so interesting because it's like, yes, this is the so and so cocktail,
right?
When you actually look at the specs of it, it's basically just that, and you've now added in this element.
Sure.
Having very little experience in bartending and things like that, like it's one of those things that I'm now being introduced to it, and now I'm curious. Like, at what point in time does the alteration have effectively changed the thing, and now it's something different?
Right. Well, okay. So, for example, if you took this exact drink, subbed out the gin for a tequila, now you have a cucumber margarita.
Right.
To me, that is dramatically altering the drink.
Right.
So I think like that's where it changes.
A martini can be with vodka
gin or vodka
or gin.
Sure. Exactly. Or, you can have as we've discussed in our past episode, you can have a margarita with a mezcal or specifically a tequila.
Yeah. Mezcal old fashioned.
Right. Exactly. It's still an old fashioned, but now you've made it with mezcal.
Right.
So I think in this case, it's like, does that change dramatically alter the drink. So now, like, if I called this specific, like, I have named this the Kyle Martini,
Right.
and
Then it should be your specs.
correct, like
To a T.
a Kyle Martini is this specific gin in this, you basically just wave the vermouth over the glass.
Right. And even then, if it is like you altered the gin, it's a different gin.
Right.
Then it's really no longer. This is a
Kyle's
variation on.
Correct. Yeah. But then I also think how we made Easy Street here, like, does me not adding that 1/4 ounce of simple, does that alter the flavor that dramatically? I think because the Saint Germain is still sweet as it is, no.
You're essentially achieving the same end result. It's just you've altered it ever so slightly.
Right. Yeah.
But I think it'd be an interesting question to ask the bartender.
Sure.
Who created it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
If I do this now, if I did it this instead, do you still see it as your cocktail, or is this now a variation of?
And my assumption is, knowing bartenders that I know, the answer would be something to the effect of, it's still the same drink.
But I'm wondering if in that instance, then is it
because
because
this
you're
one's
still wanting
named-
credit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or is it like now that it's been adjusted in this way, like at what point in time does it evolve?
Sure.
And
Well,
is it something
is a
new?
reproduction of the Mona Lisa?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But I do know this thing is fantastic.
Yeah. Really good cocktail. Good start.
Yeah.
Something else that's intriguing me about cocktails.
Yeah.
In the past, I would say about a month at this point in time, I've been really into finding specific things, collecting the appropriate ingredients and everything, and then assembling the thing.
Yeah.
What is your take on garnish?
Ooh.
How important is it to the cocktail? And is it still the thing without the garnish? Is the garnish just a little bit of an extra flair, like visual flair?
Yeah. I wrestle.
I do too.
Even down to something like fresh lemon juice versus, like a bottled lemon juice.
Right.
Like in a drink like this, I know that it does ultimately matter because it does change the brightness of the drink a little bit, but like it's not a lemon forward drink. We used a bottled lemon juice.
Right.
But like if the main thing in this was lemon juice, I think you need to use a fresh lemon juice.
Right.
And so then when I think about like the garnish itself is serving, I think, multiple purposes.
That's a good point. Like if it's a lemon based drink,
Right.
If you're looking for the lemon flavor, yes.
Yeah.
Use real lemon. If it's more just you're adding a sour note,
Right.
probably not as
Probably not. My perspective, or here's where I am currently. You eat with your eyes first.
Sure.
And in this case, you drink with your eyes first. So if I were to hand you this in an opaque black glass, no garnish, you're still going to get the same idea. And you're still going to be like, man, this drink is fantastic.
Right.
But because I've handed it to you in a rocks glass with a cucumber wheel, and you can clearly see the cucumber nature in this, like you've had this drink before you've had this drink.
Sure.
And you're already thinking, man, this thing's going to be refreshing. Look at the little bit of ice in here. Look at the green tint. Oh, this is going to be great.
Agreed.
And so I think in that way, garnish matters a lot. Where I think the garnish doesn't matter when you're just piling like shit on top of shit, and it's like, what? Why?
Well, and for me, it's also a bit of, I think if you're having the drink for the first time, go all out, make the whole thing
Correct
to a T, and then you can start to play with the alterations and things like that. The garnish and how specific it is, I feel like, is not as important after those first introductions.
Super good point.
If you're making the drink for a friend, obviously always
Garnish
every time. Garnish it every single time.
Yeah.
Because of what you're saying. It is a visual experience first, and then you draw in the other senses.
Perfect point.
If you're just making it at home, if I were to just go home and make this, do I need the cucumber pinwheel?
Nah.
Not necessarily. I know what I'm getting, and at this point in time, I'm more than likely trying to achieve a specific end result of flavor that I'm trying to get to as quickly as possible. Or I've already got the visual. I know how pretty this thing is.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just need to get to the drink.
Exactly. Well, I'm kind of on the the level of, if someone garnishes with one of those dried orange slices, I'm like, what the fuck is that?
That's like all the rage right now.
And I know, because I've been to several upscale cocktail bars lately, and I'm like, what? Come on, guys.
I mean, I get it.
It's kind of lazy to me, but
Well, it's super lazy,
yeah.
but you've also got much longer shelf life on those things.
100%. Yeah, you don't have to
cutting fruit all day.
right. But Yeah, like with my old fashioned now, when I make an old fashioned, man, I don't need the orange slice and all the. I don't need it. I want those flavors in the drink, but I don't necessarily need the garnish to remind me that I'm drinking an old fashioned.
Yeah, well, and it's one of those things too of like if I were to have this drink, if I'm already slicing the cucumber anyway, I might go ahead and throw one more slice on that cucumber and go ahead and garnish the drink. I probably would.
Yeah,
because I'm now thinking like the other night we made old fashions. And you immediately commented on mine with the orange slice.
Oh, yeah, yours is fancy.
And it was just because I like to have that orange. I like to squeeze that extra orange over the top of my old fashioned. If I'm already going to be cutting the fruit anyway, I'll go ahead and throw an extra slice on it just to garnish it, to add a little bit of extra visual.
For sure. And especially like when you think of enjoyment. A fresh orange or a lemon or a lime, like those things aren't going to stay good for.
Yeah, you got to use it anyway.
Yeah, you got to use it within like 24 hours, basically.
Yeah.
So at that point, why not?
Yeah.
But do I need it? I don't think so.
It's a lot like the fresh lemon versus lemon out of a bottle of how essential is the garnish. Like when I make an old fashioned now, I've done spoiled myself. I bought some expensive Luxardo. I want it in there every time.
Oh yeah.
Because I like a little bit of about a half a teaspoon of the syrup. It makes it.
Yeah, that great value maraschino ain't nothing.
It ain't gonna cut it.
Nah, I need that $20 cherry.
Yeah, that dollar cherry.
Yeah, exactly.
$25 for the jar, and there's about 25 of them in there.
Exactly, because you know how good that cherry is.
Yeah, it's super fucking good.
But I also think it's that idea of nothing against these kind of restaurants, but when you're eating good in the neighborhood, kind of thing,
right?
You expect some syrupy, gloopy kind of mess.
Yeah.
When you go to an upscaled cocktail bar, you expect a little more flourish.
Yeah.
And you pretty much get a spot-on great product there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, one of the silliest ones that I can think of recently is I really enjoy a Revolver.
Yeah.
And the garnish on that is you take an orange peel with a lighter or a flame of some sort and burn a little orange zest over it. And it's like, that's a nice little firework. I get it.
Yeah.
I get the point of it. Visually and presentation wise, it does nothing to the drink though. So for me personally, if I'm making it at home, I skip that.
Or it's like I really
might take the orange peel still.
Oh,
and like
sure,
twist
express
and
it,
express,
yeah.
but I don't need
to
the
light
little,
that shit. Yeah,
I don't need
or
the
like
little firecracker on it.
Longtime listeners will know that I love me a tiki drink.
Yeah,
and like those things are dangerous.
Yeah,
we're probably gonna do some tiki drinks at some point.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of rum.
Oh yeah,
I bought some rum in Jamaica.
I love a good tiki drink.
Yeah.
And there's a tiki drink, I can't remember what it is. I know that there's actually a couple. And you basically take some cinnamon and you pour cinnamon from like maybe let's say 12 inches above the glass with a flame at the bottom.
Sure.
And it just like, because cinnamon is just,
gunpowder.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, what is that doing for the drink?
Right.
Like you might get some cinnamon dusting. I kind of get that. But that's just all presentation. And it's cool. And I like it.
There's a place for that.
I love it. But I'm not doing that at home.
It's not at home by myself when I just want to drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting there like, okay, everybody step back.
Yeah,
here we go. I'm going to light some cinnamon on fire.
Wesley, watch out.
Exactly.
Here it comes.
Exactly. You're going to burn your fur there, buddy.
Oh, man.
Do you have a specific alcohol that you gravitate toward more when thinking about cocktails?
No, not at this moment. At this exact moment, I'm just looking forward to utilizing different kinds of spirits.
Sure.
I've always been a big Manhattan fan.
Yeah.
So it's just like whiskey. Of like, you want to find the right thing. You want to find the right sweet vermouth. You want to find the right glassware. You want to find all these things because it all just becomes a little bit more artisanal and it enhances the enjoyment of making the cocktail.
Absolutely.
When you have all the right tools and ingredients to make the thing. And then it's the experimentation afterwards.
Yep.
Of like, I made the thing. I made it specifically to those specs that were provided by this person. So that was good. But you know what? With my knowledge of things, let me try this. Or you know what? I do like that sweet vermouth, but I kind of want to try that one now.
Yeah.
And see what that one tastes like. So it's the exact same way of like how our investigation in whiskey and beer and things like that, it just now has a different, it's like from a different book.
Yeah.
But it's still the same experimentation and it's just a little bit of a different journey.
Well, and I think that makes sense when you think about the whiskey journey, the alcohol journey as a whole. It's figuring out what do I like, why do I like that thing, and then experimenting from there, and then branching out from there. You know, if I pigeonhole myself into like, nope, I'm a margarita guy,
Right.
like, fine, like you're gonna have a great experience, but like if all of your margarita experience is, you know, just the sweet and sour mix shaken out of a thing,
or even if it is just all fresh stuff, but it's just the same tequila,
exactly,
lime,
a little bit of salt,
yeah.
Like
if it's just that simple,
again, there's
Play
nothing
around
wrong
with it.
with that, but like you're not getting a true experience. Like
Right.
you're not branching out and like experimenting. Like what happens if I add a añejo versus a blanco?
Yeah.
Like how does that change my margarita? Would I rather have something that's got some age on it, or would I rather something, you know,
does
that's
agave syrup really change it over simple syrup?
exactly
What is Contro versus triple sec
exactly
versus Grand Marnier?
exactly
Like
what does that do?
Yeah.
And which do I prefer?
Right.
Yeah, that experimentation, man, I love that.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Ton of fun.
Man. I can't wait for the rest of this summer as we get into it and see what we can experiment with.
Yeah. I'm assuming like just the different things that we try and we're like, that's great. You know, saving that one for an episode. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
All the different things we'll try over the next few months.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I think we can officially call 2024 the summer of the cocktail.
Yep.
We're going, not every episode is going to be cocktail related, but we're going to do some experimentation. And honestly, Kyle, I think we should invite everyone to do some experimentation along with us.
Yeah. I mean, we love recommendations.
Definitely love recommendations. And if you have like a specific cocktail mix of things, you haven't named it yet, it's just, you know, the Chuck or whatever, let us know. Like, honestly, if you're just like pouring bottles together and just hoping for the best, probably not.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. Go ahead and share it with us. We might make a mention of it.
it's called Chuck's Juice. Why is there a sock floating in it? Don't you worry, that's flavor.
It's got Chuck on it.
Up, Chuck.
About to have some Chuck on it.
But I seriously, I want to know people's versions of cocktails that they find that they've really enjoyed, and what, you know, how can you experiment along with us?
Yeah, for sure.
I also invite everyone to like make yourself an easy street, make yourself, you know, whatever cocktails we do in the future, and tell us where we got it wrong.
Yeah, how would you make it better? But this one's spot on.
Spot on.
That's really good. On this easy street.
Yeah.
Perfect place and time for it.
Ooh, that's tough. I think
It's definitely a daytime cocktail.
I think it's a daytime.
I don't think it's
cocktail.
a nighttime cocktail.
No, I think it's a daytime cocktail. I think it's a cocktail that you have post lunch. Like let's say you're just, you know, enjoying the day.
See, I could argue brunch,
Give me a second. I'm getting there.
but that's before lunch.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
You have post lunch. You've had your lunch,
Yeah.
and you want just something easy to sip on in the afternoon.
Yep.
Or this is a brunch cocktail, and you're just easing yourself into the day.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is in the, you know, realm of the mimosa, the Bellini, the brunch, late breakfast.
Yeah.
You know, like I think I'm not a huge Bloody Mary fan, but I kind of feel like this kicks a Bloody Mary's ass.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know,
well, it's
depending
not,
on the breakfast, I guess, that you're having or the brunch that you're having, but it's so damn refreshing. It's definitely daytime and it's definitely outside.
Yeah, and it's what I like about it is it's not boozy. It is like when I say gin forward, like obviously the alcohol in it is gin, but it's not boozy. You know what I mean? Like it's not something like, oh, sit down, it's gonna be a minute.
Right.
Well, you got anything else?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I got a sip or two left.
Good thing is we have some more ingredients if you want to make another one. We got another episode to record.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
I do know how it goes. Well, on that note, we love
Teaser
what
for the next episode.
What's
a spirit?
bourbon?
Ooh, a bourbon cocktail. Tune in next week.
There you go. It's a bourbon.
I just have to wait like 5 minutes.
I know. Everybody else got to wait 7 days. 2 a.m. Everything releases 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, that's right.
If you want,
as soon as it hits the web, you could be right there.
You want to be
for
up
it.
at 2 a.m. on next Wednesday.
You and all the other dripping stoners.
Exactly.
It's a big group.
Exactly. And we also want to know if you've had the Easy Street, what are your thoughts on it?
Is it the easiest of streets? It's a little bit of a dangerous street.
A little seedy. Seedy Street. You put some sesames on it, it's Sesame Street. Anyway.
I'll be all right.
Well, you can get in touch with
Sesame seed rim. Sesame Street.
Gross. Well, you can get in touch with us through email. It's drepandstone@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media.
Yep, it's always one word, Drep and Stone, DREP and Stone. Come find us, like some of our media, share some of our media, and we'd really appreciate it if you would do so.
Yeah, and we'll probably get back with you.
Yeah,
Not
maybe.
probably. We will.
If you message us specifically.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely get back with you. Yeah. Share a thing, like a thing.
Yeah, we'll like your things.
Hearts and stars and all that good stuff.
Woo.
And we'd love it if you support the podcast. You can do so through our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/drepandstone. Helps keep the lights on, the recorder machine working. You can also support Drep and Stone by checking out Flaviar. That's flaviar.com. And you can use the promo code DSP10, DSP10. Save yourself a little bit of money on all those bottles and subscriptions.
Absolutely.
You can also support Drep and Stone by rating us wherever it is you find great podcasts like this one. And finally, Kyle.
Yeah.
You can support Drep and Stone by telling someone about the podcast.
Yeah, just let somebody know.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, real easy.
Real easy. Street. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
May your glass overflow.
And your ass never show. Clank.
Well, it's rock glass.
Yeah. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Give me a loud Kyle.
Kyle.
Too loud of a Kyle.
Kyle.
Good.
Kyle. Why do you have so much Buffalo Trace?
At one point, I bought a couple bottles, and I bought a couple more bottles. And then, like, every time I see a bottle,
gotta get it.
I usually buy it because they make good
People
gifts.
like it, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, that's...
Yeah.